attorneys should happen to be there for you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Restelli. Will you please tell the jury your name and spell your first and last name?
I'm Diane Restelli. My first name's D-I-A-N-E, and last name's R-E-S-T-E-L-L-I.
And Mrs. Restelli, where do you live?
I live in Trabuco Canyon, California.
Is that in southern, northern, central?
That's in Southern California.
And are you married?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
I've been married to my second husband about 2.5 years.
And were you married before?
Matthew, 42, was an adventurer and outdoorsman, a gifted mechanic, and once nationally ranked in mountain biking. Family mattered deeply, especially the bond he shared with his mother, built on trust, love, and promises kept. This is his story, told by the one who knew him first and loved him always.
Before that?
Yes, I was. I was married to my first husband, Tom, for 41 years.
Okay. And do you have any children?
I have 3 children. Paul is the oldest, and then Matthew, and then Mark.
I'd like to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 32. Thirty-seven.
Did you say 37?
I meant 37. Apologize, Your Honor. Do you recognize what that exhibit is?
Yes, that's Matthew, my son.
Okay. Does that fairly accurately show what he looks like? Or look like?
Well, when he got married, yes.
David moves him at State's Exhibit 37.
Any objection? No objection. Submitted without objection. Thank you.
State would move to publish. And how old was he last year?
42.
And tell me a little bit about him. What did he like to do?
Matt was an outdoorsman. He loved the adventure of hiking, fishing, camping. He loved mountain biking, and at one point he was a nationally ranked mountain biker for his age category. And that was something that he did almost every day, you know, as in his adulthood. He loved it. Matt was very mechanically oriented, loved gears and machines and equipment and, you know, large pieces of equipment. Just a very talented mechanic and very creative in what he did.
And did you have a close family?
We did.
Would you get together fairly often?
Well, I lived, you know, not too far from, about an hour's drive away from Matt, but we tried to see him as often as we could. But all in all, when we had any type of Thanksgiving or Christmas, my boys were always present with their families.
And what was your relationship like with Matthew personally?
My relationship was great. He made a pact with his father when he was on his deathbed in the critical care.
In 2020, Matthew promised his dying father he would watch over his mother, and he did, always there, helping, listening, guiding, a devoted husband and father. He loved his family fiercely and lived with purpose. He was present until the very end.
Unit in 2020 that he would watch after me, you know, after he passed away. And Matt was the kind of kid that he made that promise and he kept it until his dying day. He was always there to help me with decision-making, mechanical things with my car, you know, fixing things, just consulting with me and helping me. You know, Matt made good on his promise to his father.
It's okay. Would you describe him as a kind person?
Yes. You know, Matt was respectful. You know, he never raised his voice to me and honored my opinions and my comments, whenever how hard it was to hear.
How often would you talk to him?
I talked to Matt almost every day, you know, since his father's death. Every night he would call me, or day, mostly nighttime, and he would give me a recap of his day, how things went, how things didn't go, and the kind of things that he was excited about and working on.
And was he married?
Yes.
And who was he married to?
He was married to Catherine.
And do you know how long he was married for?
They got married in 2016.
And how long did they date before that?
There was a number of years, I would say, I don't know, about 5 years or more, they were together.
So have you known Catherine Restelli for a long time?
Yes, I have.
What was your relationship like with her?
Kate was very rough around the edges. You had to be very careful because she would blow up very easily. And I had many occasions, or several occasions, in which she blew up in a very horrific way, verbally. I just tried to model a positive behavior with Kate, to help her, grow in her relationship with the family and with her husband.
And do you know, did they have kids?
They did. They had 2 children. And Matt had 1 child from a previous relationship.
The state would like to show the witness what's marked as State's Exhibit 38.
Any objection?
No objection.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Do you recognize what that exhibit is?
Yes, that's Matt with his 3 children.
Is it a photograph that accurately and fairly represents what they looked like at that time?
Yes.
State would move to publish admit State's Exhibit 38.
Thought it just was. No objection.
State would move to publish.
The defense will not have any objections to publishing admitted.
Thank you.
Okay, you can take it down. Did you ever meet Catherine Restelli's family?
I did.
How many times?
I probably met her family, entire family, at least one time in Salt Lake at her mother's house. And maybe a few of them off and on if they did happen to show up at Matt and Kate's place.
And would Matt and Kate often go to Catherine's family for holidays or vacations or things like that?
I think they had a few times, or a couple of times, that they had gone to Salt Lake, or Matt had gone to pick up Kate or whatever. And I think there was some vacationing that her mother did in the Carlsbad area of California, and they would go down and visit there too.
Did Matt spend a lot of time with Catherine's family, to your knowledge?
Not really. He really wasn't really comfortable with her mother.
Where did Matt and Kate live?
Matt and Kate lived in borderline of Temecula, Awanga, California.
And who owned that property?
I own the property and the manufactured home on the property.
And so how did Matt and Kate support themselves?
They supported themselves pretty much on...
She last spoke to her son 2 hours before he died. It was an ordinary call. Food, the road, his truck, a mother checking he was safe. He was calm, happy, looking forward to seeing family. The next morning, the phone rang. Matt is dead. At first, she thought it was an accident, but nothing about the story made sense.
On whatever Matt's handyman work that he did, they didn't make any mortgage payments or have to pay any rent. That was all covered by me and my husband, my first husband. So they just did handyman work or hauling work or, whatever work he was, involved in that he created.
Did they have any financial issues?
They did, yes.
Did either of them, to your knowledge, have another job besides the handyman work?
I think towards the very, very end, I think Kate was doing some kind of work for some ranch nearby the home, but it was very, piecemeal.
And do you know how many operable vehicles they had?
I think at one point they had 2 operable vehicles until one of them broke down, and then that was in the shop, and then they had just the one operable vehicle that he drove here, which, was older. They had some other heavy-duty equipment that was operable, but that was not road. It's not something you drive on the road, per se.
Okay. Do you remember the last time you talked to Matt?
I talked to Matt 2 hours before he was murdered.
Do you recall what time that was?
That was probably around around the 7 o'clock hour.
Do you recall what kind of mood he was in?
He was in a decent mood. I think he had had some trouble with ordering some food at a restaurant. Couldn't believe how much money that the food cost and the quality. But, that was a normal conversation with Matt and I, and we talked about, how was the truck running. I asked him about, I said, how are you feeling in driving? I said, are you, okay? Are you alert enough? And do you have water and food or something to keep you occupied? Just a very positive conversation that he was, looking forward to seeing his family in about 2 hours. He was just 2 hours outside of American Fork.
And when did you first learn that Matt had died?
I learned the following morning around the 8 o'clock hour when Tracy Grist called me. And the first statement she said, are you sitting down? Are you with your husband? And I said, okay. And then she said, Matt is dead. End quote.
Did she tell you any more about that?
No.
Did that cause you concern? Did it cause you concern?
My immediate thought was that Matt maybe had a tire blowout or something had happened, on the road, and that he was in a car accident. I had no inkling or no thought that Matt was murdered by the family.
At some point, did you confront Tracy about some of your suspicions?
After that conversation, I had called my son Mark, who lived across the street from us, and he came over, and at that point, we did have a conversation together in talking to Tracy, like, tell us something about it. And she wasn't very forthcoming in giving information.
Do you remember what day that was?
That was the Saturday morning, the day after Matt's, July 13th.
Did you record that conversation?
I don't recall if we recorded that particular one, but we did start to record conversations because I had my, the hairs up in the back of my neck went up that this is suspicious.
Why did you think it was suspicious?
Because it was just, when we started to hear that, that other people were involved, it's like, this didn't make sense. This did not make sense based on all the information and all the information that Kate was giving Matt about can't wait to see you and all, just that she couldn't get a car. I felt sorry for her, and I'm sure Matt did too, to go pick her up. But I was really under the impression that Kate was going to drive back, and that's some of my conversation with Matt was when is she returning and so forth and so on. So, that's kind of how it went. But Mark was present when we kind of started to hear some of the conversation with Tracy.
Okay, I'd like to play a portion of State's Exhibit 39.
Is that being admitted?
Not yet, but just have her identify it first, Your Honor.
Tracy, this is Mark. I'm here with.
Do you recognize?
That's Mark, my son.
Do you recognize that conversation?
Yes,
Is this the one that occurred, you believe, the day after?
I think so. I think.
State would move to admit State's Exhibit 39.
No objection.
So admitted, thank you.
And permission to publish.
Yes.
I'm here with my mom. Can you tell us from the beginning what you know?
Yes. So, let's see. Matt was on his way to the house, to my house, because Katie and the kids are here. And they were Kate was undetermined whether she was going to talk for a little while, go right away back to California.
He arrived late that night, unexpected, already inside the house. He was angry, agitated. Moments later, gunshots rang out. There was no argument, no warning. When it was over, Matt lay on the ground. Nothing that came after made sense.
Not abundantly clear what the outcome was going to be of Matt coming out and talking. So about 10 o'clock last night, he got to the house. I was in the kitchen, and I was sitting on the counter. I was alone in the kitchen, and I did not hear the doorbell ring. I didn't hear a door knock. And Matt was in my dining room. And I knew he was due to come over to my house, but I didn't expect to look up and see him there. He was really, really mad and like very agitated, for lack of a better term, and you're fine. I stayed in the kitchen. I said, Kate's upstairs, but she's going to come downstairs. And I stayed in the kitchen, in the corner of my kitchen, because I was feeling uncomfortable at that moment. I was very thrown off that he was inside the house, and I didn't know it. And then he went around the corner, and then I heard gunshots. I don't know how many, probably, I don't know how many, 4, I think.
Jesus.
And Matt was on the ground, and he had a knife in his hand. And we called 911. And I told Katie to stay upstairs while I called 911 because I didn't want her to see it. And I wanted her to stay upstairs with the kids. They were sleeping though, and I didn't know they were sleeping. And the police came and separated us, talked to us, and I have not slept for 1 second. So that's why I'm really upset, and I'm in a combination of shock and sadness, and so
Did
that's
before the gunshots, did you hear an altercation? Did you hear
no.
screaming? Nothing. Just
No, I don't. If there was noise, I didn't hear it or I don't remember it.
when you saw Matt with the knife later in his hand.
I personally did not see him walking with the knife. I saw him on the ground.
Was it like
Immediately after.
a pocket knife? Was it like a?
It was like
knife?
probably like it.
Like Matt doesn't carry a knife typically.
Okay, well, I don't.
I'm just wondering. I'm trying to put this together. This is mind blowing.
Yes, I agree. It was. I can't think of the way to describe it. It's like a tactical knife.
Okay. Did you have another conversation with Tracy again?
Yes, there was another one.
Do you remember when that one was?
I think we had a larger conversation the following day when Kate wanted to talk with me.
Okay. State would like to play the first portion of State's Exhibit 40.
To a gun.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's a little bit, but do you recognize that voice?
I think it was me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is a short clip.
Yes. Is that a portion of a recorded phone conversation maybe with Tracy?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear all of it, but probably.
Okay.
A firearm was entered into evidence, and testimony followed about who had access to it, how it was stored, and what was or wasn't seen that night. No one actually saw who retrieved the gun. No one witnessed the shooting itself. What remained were questions about timing, access, and what truly happened in those moments.
The state would move to admit State's Exhibit 40.
No objection. Exhibit 40 is admitted without objection. Thank you.
Move to
A
public.
gun that was not secured with children in the house.
It was in a locked safe high up in the garage.
And who had the combination or the lock to that safe? Obviously.
Everyone but Rory, and well, Katie doesn't, but everyone but Rory.
Okay, so your son had access to get to that gun if he needed it.
Well, I asked him to get passports once. I'd asked him to get other things out of it for me.
But he knew the gun was there. He knew the gun was
with the passport.
and he took the gun out in anticipation of Matt's arrival. while on
No, I don't think that's the case.
He had the gun when Matt arrived. Did he
I have
go
no
out to the
idea.
garage and get the gun and then shoot Matt?
I have no idea. I did not see any of that.
And
I
he-
have no idea where Kevin even was. I was in the kitchen.
Come over here. See, pass it with you.
Thank you. Cross?
Okay, Your Honor, I don't have a lot of questions. Ms. Restelli, did I call you Mrs. Restelli or
Yes,
Diane? Or
Mrs. Restelli's fine.
Mrs. Restelli. And I'm sorry for the circumstance and position you're in, Mrs. Restelli. You've had to talk to police, you've had to sit through hearings, you even testified a bit. You said you met Kate's family a little bit. You would see
Yes.
time and again, but it sounds like you didn't probably get to know them that well. Is that fair to say?
I would say I didn't know them that well, but I knew of her mother and some stories and some things that she had done.
And so that's what I was going to get to. And it's my fault, I said family, but let's talk about the people you really did kind of know, and that's Kate, because she's your daughter-in-law, right?
Yes.
And you had talked about her being rough around the edges. I mean, she would be engaged in circumstances that were explosive and where she was out of hand, right?
Yes.
In fact, she's the only one of the two of them that ever got arrested for domestic abuse, right?
Pardon me again?
She got arrested for domestic abuse against Matt.
Yes, she did.
And then you knew about Tracy, because that's your sister-in-law's mother, right? You knew her better than the rest of the family.
I knew her a little bit, but, I wouldn't say necessarily better, but knew some things of Tracy, yes.
And I guess one of the reasons I'm asking you kind of who you knew and why is because there's these calls that we've heard. And you and I have never met, right?
No, not until today, or well, we've seen you on video,
No.
pre-trial.
Oh, that's right. Okay. My point is I'm just explaining what I might not know fully what you know, but it appears from these phone calls and the things that we have seen that happened, at least afterwards, that the person you would call, at least around this time frame, was Tracy, or she would call you, right?
Actually, it was Kate that wanted to talk, and that's when I engaged in a longer conversation on that Sunday with Tracy and, and that Saturday and Sunday.
There is a little, let me help set the stage for what I understand or don't understand sort of this framework, is that when Kate took off and left.
As testimony continued, the inconsistencies became harder to ignore. Account of why Kate left did not match what had been seen or lived. Calls and messages revealed influence, enabling and shifting explanations. From the beginning, the story being told did not align with the man she knew or with the final conversation she had with her son.
On the 20th of June, you learned about that, right?
I learned about it on the next day, the 21st, when Tracy called me.
Okay, that's my point, is that the only thing I learned about communications with you on that event, the leaving, is that Tracy's the one who called you, talked to you about Kate
Correct.
leaving. Now, certainly you've been able to hear through the course of this case what her claims are about why she left, and that's not what you observed in life, was it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not true. She's lying about that, right?
She is. She does have some lies, yes.
And it was also something you talked to Tracy about, was you felt like it was rather remarkable and unfair that Tracy was an enabler of that sort of activity, meaning taking off and leaving your husband and taking the children and not telling your husband.
I think that Tracy was a part of that, a big part of that, yes.
And you confronted her, gentle conversation. You didn't know she was recording it at the time, right?
I didn't have any idea that they were recording any of our conversations.
So this is on the 21st, probably.
21st.
And Tracy's calling you, and Tracy's recording it. Didn't tell you she was going to record it. But you heard that phone call?
There was a phone call, yes. And then there was some text messages that occurred.
Okay. So that's what I'm just saying. It would be sort of, you would talk to Tracy about Matt and Kate, or Tracy would call you. It's not like you were ever involved with the
I never really called Tracy in regards to anything with Matt and Kate. It was always Tracy would call me if there was something she was concerned about.
So when Tracy wanted to give information, Tracy would call. Do you remember telling her, look, these guys are not having it's not a good place. They're not making money. They're not paying for the thing, but taking off in the middle of the day and not telling isn't very appropriate. That was your feeling, right?
It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. It's not fair. It's not right. And it was Tracy explaining why Tracy enabled it, right?
Tracy does, or did.
I mean, wasn't it apparent to you that Tracy really enabled and even manipulated Kate?
I think she does, yes.
And then, again, I'm sorry that this awful thing happened. And then we have heard today just a few calls. Now, those were calls that you recorded.
Yes.
It just didn't make sense to you as pretty early on that what you were hearing happened the way they were claiming it.
It did not make sense to me at all. Knowing Matt and just knowing the dynamics, it did not make sense to me at all.
And even beyond that, I mean, it's not just the dynamics, because you talked to Matt and you knew that Matt didn't seem like he was going angrily to Utah.
He didn't go to Utah expecting violence. He believed things would work out. Instead, he was met with lies, told early, repeated often, and upheld until his arrest. To his mother, it wasn't confusion or misunderstanding. It was betrayal.
He was not.
Seemed like a guy who thought he could go there and everything would be okay.
I think he thought things would work out, yes.
We know, of course, what happened. But that feeling that Matt had was largely due to Kate setting him up and lying to him. Right?
He did.
So then you had that call with Mark where you're just trying to get some basic details early in time frame, very early, right?
Yes.
And the second call we heard, I believe, was on July 14th.
I think it was that Sunday.
Yeah, and at that time, you had learned some facts and features about the case, right?
Yes.
Still hard for you to get a lot of direct evidence from the police because they're undertaking investigation,
Correct.
right? There were some news stories, and then there was some, what I guess you would agree with me, baloney that Tracy was giving you, right?
Yes.
You recorded that one too, and you talked to Kate and Tracy.
Kate
On
was
that, you
Kate
remember
was
that?
pretty. Kate wasn't very forthcoming. Tracy was doing a lot of the talking or feeding.
And let's be clear that this is that second one where
Second one.
you're calling on the Sunday and you're starting to post some questions. We just heard something like, a gun, and you knew who had fired
Yes.
and shot your son, and you're like asking questions and doing a fine job of cross-examination, by the way. And Tracy, let's say Kate first. Kate's the first one you talked to in that call, right?
Yes.
We didn't hear that in this clip, but
It was the very first part.
first
The
part
question
is
was her asking me for money.
Tracy asking for money, lying to you, what you now know are just lies to you.
Yes.
And then you're saying, I can hear your mom, Tracy, in the background giving you answers.
Yes,
Meaning Tracy's in the background giving Kate answers about what to say to you on a phone call, right?
yes,
And you remember you were like, "Oh, why don't you just put her on?"
yes,
And then, I mean, it clearly seemed like these two were caught off guard by your questions. Do you agree?
I think probably they were.
Hammond and Hall, and they weren't answering. From what you know now, they certainly weren't telling you the truth.
There's a lot of avoidance.
And then Tracy got on. Kate got Tracy on, and then you had the conversation with Tracy part of which we heard, right?
There was some of it, yes.
And she lied to you, right?
Yes,
So even after all this happened, and you've been able to attend the court hearings.
yes,
I'm sure that's not pleasant, and I'm sorry, including today,
yes,
Kate's testimony.
yes,
I mean, Kate spent the entire time after this shooting lying to you until she got arrested. Isn't that true?
correct.
The mother of the person she murdered.
Yes,
And you heard you speak this at Kate's sentencing.
yes,
And you summed it up, didn't you? In reference to betrayal.
absolutely betrayal.
And that her betrayal was deceiving the lies she told you
Yes,
and the lies she told her family.
that's correct.
Redirect. Right. You call your next witness.